And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that duct tape from times gone by. As we are here with the grand finals of the Korean Starcraft League, week number 27. We just covered the semifinals. We covered herO taking down Solar in a 2-1 fashion. Likewise, we saw Dark taking down Classic as well, 2-1. Both semis went all the way to the ace match, and we have the best of the best. We have the best Zerg and the best Protoss in Korea facing off against each other in the grand finals of the KSL. Oh, doesn't get any better, at least when it comes to Zerg and Protoss. Remember, if you are a fan of Terran and if you want them to play in the KSL, then at them on Twitter. Pester them to wake up on a Saturday morning. It's not even that early. It's noon on a Saturday in Korea. Come on, Bjorn. Bjorn, Maru, Kyor. Just gotta wake up before midday. Like 10 minutes before midday. Roll out of bed. You can play. You can play in the K. You can win some money, Poppy. And there's a lot of money. The Patreon. It's got a lot of support behind it. These goddamn Terrans. Shaking my head. Aye. Regardless, we're gonna have an amazing finals nonetheless, and I'm sure in the coming weeks, you know, again, I mentioned before, every now and then, you know, Beyond decides to wake up when the moon is still up in the air, or like, I think we've seen Maru like in 3 or 4 of these KSLs. Like Maru, he's shown up from time to time. You know, Kyor, yeah, a little bit more active, a little bit in the KSLs. Shaking my head. As we are getting into our finals. As a reminder, this is also going to be a best of 5. Best of 5 grand finals, not a best of 3, so plenty more games to be had. Hopefully, plenty more games to be had. Ooh. As we're going to be getting into game number 1. Welcome, Punch of Kittens in the chat. Steel Mold as well. Test your SCVs for STDs. You're an animal. You're an animal. They do like drilling things. They do like getting adventurous with their drilling, but you're an animal. Stay safe, everyone. Stay safe. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient System, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming, the best Zerg in South Korea. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss, the best Protoss in, of course, South Korea. Arguably the best Protoss in the world, the blue Protoss player representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is herO. As they are teammates, a bit of a DKZ team kill, as is usually the case between these two. I also did notice from iStyle in the chat to lubricate your lunkers. You're also an animal. Look, they don't have to be overtly sexual, okay? We just massage the Marines. That's fine, okay? They've had a long day at work. You can massage them. We cook the Colossus. We hydrate the Hydras. It's wholesome. It's wholesome, Poppy. Aye. As we're getting into this, we already saw like quite a lot, a wide berth of play between these two players in this matchup already. We saw herO go for 8-gate Glaive Adept, sorry, 8-gate Glaive Adept, what? An 8-gate 3-base all-in against Solar. We also saw him delve into a carrier rush as well. We've seen some carrier rushes, and we expect to, or at least I expect to see both of those things at some point this series. At some point in this best of 5, we're going to be seeing that. Meanwhile, from Dark, on some of these smaller maps, not on Ancient Cistern, but on Babylon or on maybe even Royal Blood, Dragon Scales especially, these big all-ins with Roaches and Hydras, that is what I expect to see at some point this series as well from Dark. But on Ancient Cistern, larger map, more macro-oriented, I feel like things are going to settle down. We're going to settle down. Drill your drones. Oh my god. Steel Mod, you're as bad as No Clone. Do you want to know the one that No Clone, he was harping on this one for a while, and I was like, no, it's too overt. No Clones was rail your roaches. It's like, mate, there's no subtlety at all with No Clone. It's rail them, Papi. I was like, oh, calm down. You're an animal, no clone. You're an animal. I don't even think he's here. But he knows. He knows he's an animal. Shaking my head. We're already stretching the roaches, okay? God damn. Wholesome. Exactly, Axel. Wholesome. As we are getting into our opener, of course, Lynx are moving out for a bit of a scout, and they do manage to slip into the main base. They get past the Adept, and we do confirm the Stargate opener of herO. We also confirm the first unit, which is, of course, the Oracle as well. 2 more Lynx slip into the natural, and off the bat here, 2 probes go down. Very nicely done by Dark. More damage than is expected. You may think 2 workers, that isn't really too much here, but for Lings this early on, like, this damage should not be happening. And you know what? Dark, he could even look for a 3rd probe. He wants it. He wants to get it. Up! 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 Oof, he will not. As he does get cleaned up. Doesn't get eyes on the 2nd unit, and ooh, it's going to be a Phoenix, not a 2nd Oracle. As the first is moving out across the map, Adepts as well. Dark ignoring that Oracle, flooding out with Lings, going to be containing his opponent to 2 bases that much longer. But herO doesn't care, because what does Dark have at home to defend? Oh, he has Queens, he has the Spore as well. This Oracle gets only a single drone, while the Adepts, they threaten a shade into the main, but they're getting surrounded. Oh, they will commit, and they're getting damage done. 3 drones, maybe a 4th drone in total. Not too bad. The problem, though, is that herO's still contained. He's still stuck on 2 bases, still desperate to expand and take a 3rd. As he moves out, the Lings are moving in, and Dark is not going to make it easy on herO. As the Phoenix did supply block Dark for a moment, Lings have arrived. The Adepts, they do get in position. SimCity is set up, and herO will hold. He will hold on to that 3rd. Across the map, the Phoenix is looking for more damage, has a 1 Overlord kill so far, but it shouldn't get any more. This Overlord is close enough to the bases where the Queens can support, they can defend. They should be able to, but oh my god, herO being a little bit cavalier here, yeah, is again, shouldn't quite get that Overlord in the end. The Oracles, though, they dive into the main base, they force some lost mining time. 2 drones in total. Phoenix is forced back. And 4 more drones go down. Looking at the unit's lost tab. Up! The Oracle survives. 8 drones. 8 drones for 2 Adepts. Pretty good damage so far here from herO. Really good job, especially preserving his Oracles from all that harassment. And being able to protect this 3rd base as a result. So a solid start from our Protoss player. Meanwhile, Dark having to recover, lick his wounds, saturate his 3rd. Another one of his Overlords is under threat, but again, he shouldn't be losing it. As we may not have glaives, but the Adepts have arrived. Ooh, 7 Adepts in total. The Oracles are moving out on the right-hand side. They're looking for a cancel on the 4th base. The Adepts are threatening those mineral lines as well. Dark, he's got a fully wall. Oh no! The wall is not a wall, but the Adepts, they commit to the shade. And the Lings are going to get taken out. The mineral line is exposed and drones are falling. And this is becoming a bit much. 7 drones, and we force a cancel on the 4th as well. No, that was a kill! That was not a cancel. There is a dead hatchery there in the unit's lost tab. Ay. Dark getting pulled apart left and right. That is 18 drones in total and a hatchery. The pressure is now on Dark to make something happen, but what can he do? The Oracles are back home. They have plenty of energy for a Pulsar Beam. They're Zealots. Important to bear in mind that this is not going to be a Blink follow-up. This is Charge Lots into Archons. And it looks like herO isn't going for a 3-base all-in. He takes his gases. He is looking to take a 4th base and tech up even further. So, interesting. herO, even though he has crippled Dark a little bit here, he's not going for a kill move. He's just going to be taking his lead and extending it further by getting into a longer game, getting into a comfortable game. Now, this will give Dark the time he needs to recover. He is you know, just saturating his bases. He's joining up to 69. Nice. This is basically 3-base saturation, and he's cutting workers at 69, making nothing but roaches and lings. This could be the beginning of essentially an all-in from Dark, where he decides not to throw down an infestation pit. He decides not to saturate his 4th, and just make nothing but lings and roaches, which would be understandable considering the game state. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. We have 7 more Overlords on the way to make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. And Dark is looking to max out here on roaches and lings. Oh, and herO is playing into his hands. herO is pushing out. There's a lot happening. I assumed that herO would be expanding, but no. He stays on 3 bases. He's moving out here with his Charge-Outs and Archons. But there's a massive army waiting for him, and herO, I don't think he can really gain too much ground. That army is just getting larger and larger, and again, herO, he still hasn't expanded. Working on Colossi. Working on Blink and +2. herO is just posturing, but it's not like he's forcing out units. Like Dark, he was never intending to saturate this 4th. To fully saturate it, I mean. 69 drones, that's all we need. Dark has now maxed out. He's going across the map. There's no like next step to this. There's no Hive, no Hydroden, no Spire, no Ultras, no nothing. Just pure Ling Roach from Dark. All or nothing. Now herO takes this 4th, but because it's so late, it's not done, which means there's no overcharge. herO is split between his bases, and so far he's holding. Dark trying to consolidate his army, trying to bring everything together. Yeah, he's going to be collapsing here on the 4th. Oof, getting on top of the Immortal. Hot pickup. Nice juggling there from herO, but he will lose this 4th base. He is forced to cancel, and Dark has to back off. Good amount of damage, and now Dark, he's taking up even further. He's content knowing that herO is stuck on 3 bases. He's working on +2, Burrow, and Tunneling Claws. Which means he's still not droning. But he is taking his gases. So he's thinking a little bit further ahead. There we go, 5th base on the way. herO now going for his own counterattack though. What does he have to work with? 3 Colossi, still kept that Immortal alive. Disruptors are on the way. Again, the quality of the army of Dark is very low. It's just Roach. Barely any Ravagers. No Banelings. Just a pure Roach army. So even though the supplies are close, the quality is better for herO. But here we go. Dark is coming in from behind. Does attempt to come in from behind. Good control there from herO. He does blink on top of those Roaches with the Stalkers. And herO, he is breaking through. He's busting through the Roaches. Busting through into that 4th base. Yeah, and this 4th is going to go down. It is. There we go. It is going to go down. As hero's going to rotate over towards that natural, or towards the 3rd even. Over time, the Disruptor count is getting higher. Dark does have Burrow, so he can regenerate his health on those Roaches. Can even set up a surround. Yo, he can get on top of the Disruptors. Uh-oh. There's no detection. There is no detection, and Dark, he's going to get on top of those high-tech units. He wants them. And he does get them. Oh, good target firing. 1 Disruptor goes down. A big Nova goes off, though. Was this move worth it for Dark? A big chunk of Roaches goes down. He only gets 1 Disruptor. GG gets called, and herO will take game number 1. GG, well played. Again, herO doing an insane amount of damage early on. Remember, 18 drones. He got 18 drone kills for really just Adepts. He crippled the economy of Dark, and he forced Dark all in. Forced Dark into just that mass Roach army on 69 drones. And with herO's lead, he was just getting further ahead tech-wise. The quality of herO's army was just getting better and better with Colossus, with Disruptors, with Archons. He may not have had a 4th base, but that didn't matter. He was kind of forced all in with his attack, but yet he had just had such an impressive army, and Dark couldn't really do anything about that. he had some good engagements. He had some good surrounds. He had some good moments, but alas, was not enough. As we get into game number 2. As we do, a massive shout out to Florencio in the chat. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Welcome everyone, welcome. Of course, shout out to the lovely Sewer Mermaid of StarCraft. We are just in the midst of the finals, the grand finals of the KSL. This is a replay cast. The KSL was live over the weekend, and usually we do cast it live. But I was a little bit under the weather. I was unwell on Friday and Saturday, so I was unable to cast KSL. So we're catching up. We are catching up here with some replays. And we're getting into game number 2. Este es tío mode. Ay, ay, ay. And here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the South Korean... Oh my god! We have the South Korean Zerg player going for a 12 pool. He is not making any drones, by the way. Let's go, Papi. Representing CranKy Z Gaming, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, also representing CranKy Z Gaming. It is herO. And a solid game 1 out of herO, just pulling Dark apart, picking apart his economy, and snowballing out of control from there. Meanwhile, Dark, he wants to spice things up. It's not just a 12 pool. A drone is moving out across the map. It is going to be a proxy hatch. Now, this hatchery, I'm pretty sure, is designed to be thrown down here as a part of the wall, to disrupt the wall here, to create an opening for the Lings that are on the way. Or, no, sorry, further back? Oh, we're waiting. We don't have the money for it. Just waiting for the resources before we reveal our hand. There we go. The drone has arrived. And no, sorry, it's not going to be a part of the wall. We are forcing a reaction here at the natural. It's going to be blocking that nexus and forcing boys off the mineral line. Lings are moving out, and herO is fully aware. He did scout the main base, did confirm the lack of expansion, and he has eyes on the Lings. So herO is chronoing out his Zealot. He's fully walling off. The power of Royal Blood is it only takes 2 buildings. It only takes 2 buildings to wall off, and of course a unit. So herO should be able to stop this from snowballing out of control. There we go. The wall is solid. But mining time is being lost, and Dark can expand behind this. He is transitioning. He is macroing. He made 10 Lings in total. The hatchery is cancelled, but up! He's just trying to be as annoying as possible, trying to delay the Nexus as long as he can with that drone. Oh, the Zealots are going to get surrounded. A little bit of miscontrol from herO as the Lings do get on top of one of those Zealots. They almost get the second Zealot as well. They barely do. Both Zealots go down. There's only one gateway. And that takes a lot of the sting out of the counterattack of herO. So typically, when you defend against a 12 pool, you have 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts left over. And immediately you can counterattack. But now that 2 Zealots have gone down, herO can't counterattack, or if he did, like, he just doesn't really have much to threaten Dark. Dark, he's free to double expand from this position, to drone up as well. The downside of Dark is that he has very delayed gas. His gas geysers are very late, but outside of that, like, he can recover. Now, Dark still has some catching up to do, obviously, but, I mean, on top of everything that happened, he also delayed the expansion. Dark is droning as heavily as possible. We'll see if he can minimize his losses here as 2 Adepts are rocking up. Again, this should have been 2 Adepts and 2 Zealots, but with only 2 Adepts, it means that Dark is going to have an easier time defending. Is it going to be enough, though? As the Adepts do not commit to the shade. Dark droning as much as he can. He's got so much droning to do, though. And on top of that, he had to make all these links as well. The faster third helps. It does help with Larva. But again, this is like a big downside, a major downside of a 12 pools is just your lack of gas, and drones are going down. 2 workers. We can't afford to lose workers. We do get us around though. That's will fall. And I think this is really smart of herO. I think this is very smart. He's transitioning into a 2-base all-in, Glaive Adepts. We have 4 gates on the way. 1 is already done. I wouldn't be surprised if we throw down a 6th gateway for 2-base 6-gate Glaive Adepts. And this is going to hit like a truck. And Dark, because he's going gasless, or because he had to go gasless because of the 12 pool, there's no roaches. There's no roaches. And there's no banelings. Roach Warren is now on the way, but we don't have the gas for it. By the time we do, like, how many roaches will we really have? It all depends. It all comes down to the timing. How fast, how hard, and how quickly is herO going to hit? And by the time he does, how many roaches will Dark have? Because we are just amassing adepts. Oh, boy. We have a probe being sent out as well to throw down a proxy pylon and a proxy gateway. So we have 5 gateways back at home. It wouldn't surprise me if the 6th gateway gets thrown down across the map. Yep, and there we go. There's a pylon and a gateway soon after. The adepts have arrived. Dark was forced to muster up an army, cutting workers here at 38. We have 5 roaches on the way. Not too bad. Oh, the pylon has been spotted. That's a big tell. A big tell for Dark. He's going to be taking this very seriously. He's now aware of the all-in. God, that's a lot of adepts. 13 adepts in total. Cancels the shade, takes down the queen. He wants the other. We'll get it. Queen goes down. No mining time here at the 3rd. No dead drones, though. Oh, and we commit to the shade? Oh, I'm not too sure about this. But we clean up the majority of those lings. We're breaking into the main. We have more adepts here at the natural as well. Dark hasn't sustained any major losses yet, and the roach count is getting higher and higher. But so is the adept count. Oh my god, and it's going to be a 6th and a 7th gateway and a dark shrine as well. Oh my god. I mean, there's no detection, there's no lair, there's no spores. DTs would end the game. They would straight up end the game. The adepts, they commit to the shade as well, getting on top of what little roaches there are. I mean, at least Dark isn't losing any of his workers, but he doesn't have many workers to begin with. It's been an uphill battle here for Dark. 12 pool was not worth it in the end. And I'm waiting for the nail in the coffin. I'm waiting for the GG, which is going to arrive when the DTs show up. Like, there straight up is no answer. There is no answer to the DTs. herO doesn't know that, but we know. Oh, herO knows that as well. He knows, but he knows. As the adepts, they're just going to be bouncing between the bases. Focusing down whatever roaches they can. Again, Dark has done a great job at minimizing his economic losses. But here they come. The Game Enders, the MVPs, the DTs, they have arrived. And GG gets called. herO takes a 2-0 lead in the grand finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Oof. herO taking a solid lead in this best of 5, taking both game 1 and game 2. And yeah, I mean, game 1 was a much more strong fashion for herO, where herO crippled the economy early on of Dark, and that snowballed into a victory. Here in game 2, it was more of a role reversal, where Dark attempted to be the aggressor. Dark attempted to gain an advantage early on, but alas, wasn't quite worth it. He was punished very hard for his lack of gases as well. I do think that the counter build of choice for herO was really smart to go into a 2-base Glaive Adept all-in, followed by the DTs, of course. And the DTs, they weren't necessary. He was already doing enough damage, but yeah, they were just a nice cherry on top to really seal the deal for herO. And now we're getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 3. Number 3, potentially the final game of the series, which would be wild as well. Like, we do cast a lot of Dark versus herO. Very rarely is it one-sided. Very rarely is it a 3-0 or a 2-0 in either direction. Usually it's more back and forth. And herO, he's looking strong, looking powerful so far in these first 2 games. Can he close it out? As game 3 is on altitude. Here we go. Alright, getting into our next game. Altitude, of course, the largest map in the map pool. I would say a little bit more Zerg favored in a way, depending on the play styles, of course, of the players. As we're getting into this and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the best Zerg in all of South Korea, down in this series 0-2. He needs to bring it back here and now. Representing CranKy Gaming, it is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing CranKy Gaming. 1 game away from becoming this week's KSL champion. It is herO. Now, what I love about Altitude is that it is a very unique map. It's a very unique map with very unique features, which leads to very unique games as well. Because the map is so large, it does favor certain playstyles, and we have seen Protoss players successfully be very defensive on this map and very tech-heavy on Altitude, defending on 3 bases and of course his 4th base as well, walling off, turtling up, going into Sky Toss. Can work wonders. Likewise, when it comes to the Zerg player, something that we have seen a lot from Dark in this matchup is Mutaplay. Mutaplay can work really well on this map as well. One, it's usually really risky to try to sneak out a Spire, but on a large map like this, it's a little bit harder to be aggressive with a ground army, so you can get away with Spire play, and once you get your Mutas out, you can dance between these bases. You have a lot of air to maneuver around, a lot of freedom available to you, and you don't have to necessarily do a lot of damage, but you can contain your opponent, keep them busy, while you take the rest of the map as well. So there are certain things that you can go for, certain strategies that have advantages on a map like Altitude. Likewise, something that Dark does a lot on Ancient Cistern, which is a little bit applicable to Altitude as well, is to go for a big Ling-heavy style. You expand, you take a lot of bases, you go pure Ling. With your Mass Ling, you gain map control, you deny the 4th over and over and over again, and you tech up into Hive Tech, you tech up into Ultras, so Ling into Ultra. Can work well as well. Again, just because the map is so large, it can sometimes be difficult for the Protoss player to wrangle for map control and to apply pressure to the Zerg. But we'll see. We'll see what our players decide to go for. For now, it is going to be a Stargate opener from herO, as to be expected. I mean, I know we saw a Twilight Council opener last game, but that was because of the 12 pool. Like, that was just because of what Dark had gone for. And herO, of course, was just punishing Dark's 12 pool in that last game. And so there we go, Void Ray first. Okay. Interesting. Now, could this be the beginnings of Sky Toss? We have seen a lot of Sky Toss on Altitude. The advantages that I spoke of for Mutas and for Spire play is also applicable to Sky Toss as well, but we'll see. We'll see. This could just be a Void Ray into Oracles. Just going to be denying some scouting, denying some vision. As the Void Ray is going to make a beeline across the map. Now you may be wondering, why doesn't herO go for this Overlord? This Overlord is known. herO is fully aware that it's here, so he knows that he can kill this Overlord regardless. You know, he's gonna save this for a later date. He's gonna try to hunt down some of these more some of these Overlords that are further out on the map first. He gets one. He's gonna try and get a second Overlord as well before he turns around and gets his third. At the same time, Lings do go for a counter attack, and they do force a cancel on the third. Very nicely done. At the same time, herO tries to get that second Overlord, but he will be denied. Will be forced back. So a really powerful moment here for Dark, as herO is looking for another straight Overlord, and he may actually get this one. Yeah, there's not enough energy for transfuse. Up! Second Overlord will fall. A supply blocking Dark. And now herO has to try to get a read on where this Overlord had gotten off to. He's going to try and intercept, try to hunt it down. Meanwhile, of course, herO did get into Oracle production. His third base has been delayed. He has to do some counter damage. Has to try to disrupt the economy here. Up of Dark, as that Overlord has been found out. And 3 Overlords for this one Void Ray. Well worth it for herO. At the same time, ooh, the Oracles do go to town in the main. 4 drones. Very nicely done. And when it's not over here, as we have a third Oracle headed towards the third base of Dark, we have a couple of Adepts on the ground as well. Up! Stasis Trap is going to go off. Oh my god, saving the Oracle! Catching all 3 of those Queens. At the same time, the Adepts do make it into the natural. They're not getting drone kills, but they're forcing a lot of lost mining time, and a couple of drones towards the end as well. Very nicely done. Dark having a hard time keeping up. Oof. As Oracles do head into the main base as well. Oh my god, 10? No shot. 10 drones go down. An insane amount of economic damage. 14 in total for 1 Adept. Look what herO's lost. herO's only lost a single Adept. Ay, ay, ay. So much damage is done. And herO is running away with this. He's getting his third base fully saturated. Behind this, he's working on Blink and +1. Building up his gateway count. And we've seen this before. We saw this in the previous semifinals. Dark is now all in. Dark, oh, actually, we saw this in game 1. Dark is now all in. He has lost too many drones. He knows that. Same thing happened with Solar. Same thing happened in game 1 of this finals as well. Dark has sustained too many losses. He's self-aware. He's aware of that. And all in is the only way out. It is his only chance. Nidus is thrown down, and the Nidus has not been spotted by herO. Dark, he has a window of opportunity. And there it is. Nidus over towards the left-hand side. Lings trying to get a read on the situation. There's only 1 shield battery here at the third. Cannon is on the way. Ooh, herO's moving out. herO's main army is moving out across the map, which means his bases will be a little bit exposed. Nidus will finish. And herO pulls back. He does pull back for a moment. Adepts are cleaned up. herO's main army is still being distracted. He's throwing down more shield batteries. But here comes that army. We're trying to leapfrog forward with the Nidus Worms, but that's not going to work out. The Queen's having a hard time engaging. The Lings catch some Stalkers, which is good, but we need it. We need to go. Dark is droning? No shot. Dark is droning. He's working towards the Infestation Pit. Dark is not all in. He's faking an all in. Okay. I mean, he is making sure that herO isn't expanding. He's containing herO to 3 bases. He's pulling back. He's just spreading creep. Hey, Dark is crazy. He's forcing an overreaction. That was 2 extra shield batteries thrown down. No 4th base. Despite taking all these gases, despite teching up, herO, he needs a 4th to sustain this economy. Sorry, to sustain this production. And Dark, he's getting back in this. He's taking a 4th. He's droning up. He's working towards Infestors. This is a good stepping stone. I love this. So Infestors typically aren't gotten, but they're a really good safety unit here as They're really good safety units when it comes to their fungals. Obviously, Dark doesn't want to make too many of them, but 2 Infestors are going to be good enough to lock down Blink Stalkers, essentially. And Blink Stalkers are moving out. So Dark can trade very efficiently despite having a lower supply. Working on the base. Spire is on the way. I love it. We were talking about the advantages of Spire earlier, of Mutas earlier. And Dark can gain access to that. Finally, herO is taking a 4th, but a very late 4th base. Dark is able to get his own 4th up and running. And now at this point, Dark, he's up to 80 workers. He has a choice. He can use this Spire for mutas, or the Hive's about to finish. He can go straight into a Hive. Hive Tech is available. We'll see if he goes for it. Sorry, I meant to say Greater Spire. Obviously, a Hive is available. Greater Spire is going to be available with this Hive. So he could try to rush right into Broodlords, which would be a bold move, but possible. Meanwhile, here we go. We have a Fleet Beacon, Stargates, Sky tosses on the way here for herO. I mean, he's on 4 bases. He's solidifying himself. He's fortifying himself. Sky Toss makes plenty of sense. And there it is. Greater Spire is on the way. Dark rushing into the late game. Vipers have arrived. 5th base as well. So these Stargates basically tell us that herO has identified that he's been contained to 3 bases for too long. He cannot kill Dark anymore. So he's just going to turtle up instead. Contain himself on these 4 bases, build up an army, and start working on a late game composition. He can be active with Stalkers, but he has to be very careful. Can't throw away too much. As 2 carriers are being made at a time. Sorry, 3 carriers at a time. +1 air attack, +3. Meanwhile, Dark getting into a 2nd Spire. Now, a lot of this is going to come down to whether or not Dark can scout in time. He needs to realize what's going on. He needs to figure out what is going on, so as to not overinvest into Broodlords. And there we go. Broodlords are on the way. We have a couple of Corruptors, but for the most part, Dark is focusing on an anti-ground toss army. And to be fair, that's what he needs to focus on. But after this fight, he needs to invest a little bit harder into just pure Corruptor, because the carrier count is slowly building up. herO being very adventurous, going for a very forward base. Prism is going to get caught out. The Corruptors have been revealed. The Broodlords haven't, but the Corruptor has. Oof, as herO is really cementing himself here. Cannons, shield batteries, carriers. Carriers that have yet to be scouted, by the way. Dark, he's in some danger. He needs to free up supply. He needs to free up supply for more Corruptors. Big Fungal. Takes down low of their shields. The Vipers. Oh. Vipers will survive. The Broodlords reveal themselves. And now it's go time for Dark. Good yoink on one of those Colossi. But these carriers, they are still in the back line. herO has not shown his ace. Not yet. How much anti-air do we have? We have 1 Corruptor. 1 Corruptor is all Dark has. But he has a lot of Queens. And here we go. The Broodlords are pushing on forward, looking at the vision. Here we go. The carriers have been revealed. How much damage can Dark get done, though? Before that does occur, we do have a massive counterattack from herO. Pushing through the center of the map, catching a lot of these roaches. A very efficient trade, and the Broodlords have to turn back around. The downside of this army, Dark's army is so immobile, so slow. Oof. And Dark is getting heavily supply blocked. Now Dark will clean this up. So many Overlords are going down. The hatchery itself almost goes down as well. Can we transfuse? We can. The base barely survives. Can it survive? Up. Oh, it will not. The base goes down. Carriers are pushing in on the right-hand side as well. Do we have enough to deal with this? How many carriers do we have? 5. Not too bad. That is a manageable amount. As Dark loses 2 hatcheries and 7 drones, at the same time going for a big roach counterattack. It's going to be herO's turn to defend. Can he keep up with the ground army of Dark? As Dark is just trying to buy time to build up more corruptors. Tempests have hit the field. God, that's a lot of Tempests. And herO does have a better army, a superior army. He's got Skytoss with some High Templar. Storm is done. Colossus, Immortals. He's lacking in Archons. I would love to see some Archons. But we'll see if Dark can pull this off. He has Neural. So, okay. Even though Dark's army may be a little bit lacking, these Infestors can come. They can go a long way. They can go a long way. Sword Yoink on one of those carriers on one of those Tempests. They will go down. High Templar, they overextend. 2 full NG High Templar go down for free. herO getting picked apart a little bit. He's consolidating his army. Bringing everything together. It's going to be Dark's turn to overextend. Uh-oh. Gets a Tempest. For 5 Corruptors, not too ideal. As herO rotates around, it denies another hatchery. But Dark, he's just building up that Corruptor count. He's got 5 so far. He's about to have 11. Dark's just trying to keep up. Rotating with the Spellcasters. Remember, he's got 6 Infestors. Those Infestors potentially could take over those carriers. Or the Archons even. Very decent Fungal. Spores are being cleaned up. Zelarabai, ooh, takes down a hatchery. Fungals are looking decent. Biles as well. And we're diving on forward. Big power bomb on the carriers. The Interceptors are going to be going down. The Queens, they come on forward, and it looks like herO is going to get cleaned up. He has overextended. Wow, everything goes down. The Parasitic Bombs killed all the Interceptors. The Tempests get focused down as well. And herO loses everything. His army supply plummets to sub 100. Oh my god. herO needs time to rebuild. That's the downside of a Skytoss army. It takes a long time to build up the carriers again. And just like that, with one good fight, Dark, he's far ahead. Now, herO has a lot of bases. herO has a lot of Nexi. He's got a good economy. But we're about to deal with that. As the Broodlords have arrived, and yeah, like, when it comes to these high-tech units for Protoss, you need to babysit them. You have to take care of them. One wrong move, one misstep, and everything goes south. We have DTs harassing. Oh my god, that's a lot of DTs. Oh my. Stop. Bases are going down left and right. Chaos everywhere. The center base will fall. But really, this is a desperation move from herO. Like, he is desperate to get something done. herO doesn't have an army. This is his army. Stalkers. herO, he's frozen. He has a bank. He's not supply blocked. herO, he can make carriers. He can make stuff, but there we go. He's warping in another wave of Stalkers. There we go. Void Razor on the way, which is an answer for Corruptors, but again, we're building up from scratch. It's all from nothing. herO, who was hyper fixated on these DTs, and I mean, they're getting work done. Oh, Dark being a little bit wasteful. He's going to be bleeding out a lot of these corruptors. You can see here he's slowly catching up in army supply. He's building himself back up. He's catching more corruptors. Up! 2, 3 corruptors go down. 4 even. Oh my. But it's about the quality of the army, right? It's like, it's pure Stalkers. Stalkers and a couple of Void Rays against Broodlords. Against Broodlord Infestor. The ideal late game composition here for Dark. As he rotates around, he just dealt with the gold base, of course. It took him a while. Again, Broodlords are slow, but he's rotated over towards the left. Taking down cannons. And soon the base itself. herO, he's going to try to engage. He has to. Oof. Pushing on forward. Big fungal on those Void Rays. At the same time, Azella Rabai is going to be distracting Dark's reinforcements. Roaches are busy. They are going to be busy with these Zealots, but the Zealots are being cleaned up, and herO, he knows he cannot engage. He cannot push into these Broodlords, not with Infestors to support them, so he's going for a big counterattack, he's going for a base trade, or he's trying to go for a base trade. He's going to get a base. Gets a hatchery. Oh, but the fungals are brutal. The chain fungals as well. A lot of Stalkers are going down. Void Rays at the same time, they also take down another base as well. herO just going for these guerrilla tactics, trying to backstab Dark at every turn. It can be really frustrating. Again, Broodlords are really slow. Festers are slow. So herO's army, it may be weak in a head-to-head fight, but he doesn't have to go for a head-to-head fight. He can just skirt around the edge. Focus on harassing. Try to pull Dark back home. Oh, and here we go. herO, he has been able to remax. Storms are available. Big fungals. Oh, on those High Templar. Broodlords are coming in from behind as well, and again, like, we can't fight this head on. herO has to back off. Does turn back around, double expanding. The Void Ray count is getting scary. That is true. But we have Vipers on the way, and that is the answer to the Void Rays. Like, the Void Rays, they're very prone to bunching up, as we can see. All it takes is a couple of power bombs, a good fungal, and this army won't be long for this world. Good snipe on the hatchery at least. herO's trying to find another way in, working on a mothership. How many Void Rays do we have? 16. 16 Void Rays. Again, the kind of army that herO has is just a very flexible one. Sorry, a very maneuverable one. His goal, of course, to harass. To backstab, counterattack. He's been doing well. He's been killing a lot of bases. But yeah, this Nexus has to be given up. At least herO doesn't lose anything. Like, he preserves his workers for the most part. Oh, let's go. And herO, he's going for the right click on the hive. Can he get it? Doesn't go for it. Could have, though. 100%. Just sharking around, looking for whatever he can get his hands on. Like, the problem, so if you're wondering, the problem for Dark here is that if he ever for example, rotates towards the right to try to punish these bases with his Broodlords, then he exposes his left, and he will lose a lot. He will lose a lot more in the process. So Dark is in a really rough position where if he had, like, he can win a head-to-head fight, but obviously herO isn't going to give him a fight. And if he ever counterattacks, he's going to just lose too much here to harass. So Dark has to defend. He has to defend until this gets up and running. Dark, he's building up a bank so he can get a good, like, defensive line with stack defense. And once he does have stack defense, then he can start pushing out. Then he can start being aggressive. Until then, he's kind of stuck at home. Even here, like, another hatchery goes down. And herO, he's getting away with these mining bases. He's remaxed. I would hope that from here, herO tries to refine his army. Oh, good feedbacks. Takes down two infestors. Be threatening the goal base as well of Dark. See Dark rotating with his army. I don't think herO wants a fight. I don't think he should go for a fight. But cleaning up all this creep. It's honestly pretty good. He catches some of these overlords as well, and from here I feel like herO should back off. Get some good feedbacks once again. Oh, and Dark is going all the way into the natural. He is going to be cornering himself. We do see Ling Roach going for a big counterattack as well. Bit of a base trade. And of course, herO can recall. He can always recall back home. And Dark knows that, and he's just going to give up on his main. He's just going to rebuild all of his tech. Very fortunate that, or very wise of Dark to have detection with his army. Raider Spire is going down. Hive is going down. Dark, can he find any more damage though? There we go. We do force the recall. Gold base is saved. Dark didn't really accomplish much. He killed a base that wasn't mining. That's kind of it. So a rough loss there for Dark. Losing a lot of infestors to those feedbacks. Has to rebuild all of them. He still has a better bank, but hero's been doing well. He's going to find another base. Yeah, this hatchery is going to go down to the DTs. At the same time, a couple of Corruptors also get caught out by these Void Rays. And herO, he is going to get another base. Dark out of position. Slow to respond. Another hatchery goes down. Meanwhile, Dark is setting up a big lane bang counterattack, and this is going to get damage done. Remember, recall is on cooldown. herO, he cannot recall back home. Oh, there's no bathing speed. Unfortunate, no bathing speed. Oh, but regardless, we still will find a lot of probes. 23 workers go down. At the same time, though, this is one Zealot. Got 6 drones. Dark barely has an economy. Barely has mining. Like, I still want to give the edge to Dark because in a head-to-head fight, I still think he wins. I still think he will take out what herO has. But herO, he's been doing so much for himself. He's been sniping bases, sniping tech. He has a bank. He has an economy. He's cleaning up this creep so he can take another base. I really wish that herO was building up a little bit further from here. Like, I wish that he was making Tempest, essentially. I wish he was building... I wish that as he was losing units, he was remaxing with a well-refined army. Going into Tempest. Getting into more Archons. Otherwise, what's our win condition? Oh, good feedbacks. Maybe feedbacks are the win condition. True. Oof. As that's going to be a big fungal on these Void Rays. There's a yoink on the mothership. Minus 400. Minus 400. The mothership will go down. There, finally, carriers? carriers are okay. They're definitely okay. They're better than making more Void Rays, yes. I still would have liked Tempest, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's still better than, again, just what we have been working with. herO, he's working on getting another base up and running. As he does, big link counterattack. So it is going to be canceling this Nexus. Oh my god, the Cracklings, they're cracked. Take down a base. Lings, they slip into a mineral line, and oh yeah, these bases are not fully saturated. A lot of probes are going down. Changelings being sent out. So herO has a good base count, but not the best economy. I mean, he has a bank, so this is fine. But he does need to mine from those gases. As Dark has been refining his army, he's now got a couple of Ultras in play as well. That will help against the High Templar. Corruptors, they find... No, they find the carriers! Big power bombs as well. The interceptor is going to be going down, and every single carrier is going to fall. Massive pickoff. Ay. We force not just the carriers, the mothership as well. At the same time, herO, he tries to push on forward, but we get some big feedbacks, and herO's army crumbles. As he was losing his carriers, he just tried to engage, and it did not work out for him. And that was herO's win condition, was to finally get into a carrier army again, so we can go head to head with the army. But Dark just fighting too well, finding these opportunities, and oof, yeah. In that fight, 6 Void Rays went down. Obviously, the 6 carriers, a couple of High Templar. Not worth it for herO. And he's burning through his bank. He's burning through. I don't even think that... Oh, actually, I was going to say that I don't even think that Dark knew about those carriers, but remember, he sent his changelings in. So he must have seen them. Must have seen the carriers, and he went right for them. And now herO, he's maxed out, but... So mainly Stalkers. He's got 41 Stalkers. Hey, he's catching some Ultras. Who's catching who, though? Oh god. So, we had 41 Stalkers. We're down to 32. Ay. Here we go. Now Dark is hunting for this army. Feeling confident enough to move out. Gets another Stalker. Ooh, getting on top of the High Templar as well. The High Templar, no! 3 High Templar go down. 1 barely survives. Ay. And that may just be too much. We can see here he wants to try to collapse on this army. Big fungals. Big parasitic bombs as well. That's a lot of Stalkers working their way through, but the Void Rays are falling one after the other. And the fungal growths are locking everything down. herO's pushing through, but we have 8 Ultras on the way, and we have a wall of Spine Crawlers. At this point, we can even just neural these Stalkers. We're doing what we can. We even neuraled the DT. Oh my god. And yeah, it's just a pure Stalker army for herO. Pure Blink Stalkers. Once again, Neurals on the Stalkers, question mark? Okay, sure. I think a Fungal would have been better, but, you know, you do you. Darky's having fun. But there we go. The Fungals will connect. We lock down the army. The Ultras are going to town on these Stalkers. And without Blinks, due to those Fungals, just everything gets cleaned up. herO loses his entire army for the third time. GG gets called, and Dark will fight back in this series in the grand finals. He puts a point on the board. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was a over 30-minute game. That was wild. There was some twists, there was some turns, there was a lot that came into that game. Remember, it all started with Dark being forced into an all-in. Remember, at the 30 minutes ago, at the very start of the game, herO, he crippled the economy of Dark, and he forced Dark into an all-in. If you remember, Dark, he had cut workers, he threw down a Nidus, he went across the map, and something that was really interesting, that I find really intriguing, and really, like, I love this about Dark. Yeah, he was, for all intents and purposes, all in. And then once he Nidus across the map, he started droning. He took gases, he took another base, and he didn't commit. He was just focusing on containing his opponent and forcing an overreaction out of herO. herO also was convinced that he was being all in, because that just makes sense. Just because of how much damage that was being done. And from that point, Dark recovered herO because he knew that he kind of missed his window because his fourth was so late. He turtled up on 4 bases, went into Sky Toss. The initial carriers were a surprise to Dark, but they weren't able to end the game. They did kill bases, but they weren't able to do any critical damage, and the game slowed down from there. Dark refining his army, having some amazing engagements, some really strong fights from Dark with his initial infestors, his broodlords, of course, and yeah, some just really good play, really solid army control from Dark. herO was struggling a little bit there, was maybe a little bit over eager at times, took some really bad fights, some really rough fights. I want to say 2 or 3 really crucial moments in that game went in favor of Dark, and yeah, towards the end there, Dark was kind of in the driver's seat. herO was doing well staying in there. Remember, he decided to kind of take a step back, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go for like a big harassing army instead, and he made it close as a result. But when it came to those big fights, Dark was always coming out on top, and whew, we have a series. Let's go. We're getting into game number 4. And at least it's not one-sided. I was really concerned. One way or another, I was hoping it wouldn't be a 3-0 in either direction. I want a more back and forth. I'm greedy like that. I'm greedy as a caster. I want more games. And here we go. We're getting into game number 4. Ooh. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. Fighting back, putting a point on the board. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. What? Does anyone have translations? Hold on. I'm whipping out my Google Translate. Ah. Huh. What are they what are they talking about? Oh my god. Okay. I don't understand the context. herO was talking about going to the gym, from my understanding. Is it like a metaphor about like bulking up and getting stronger? I don't know. Alright, let's get into this. Again, they're good friends. They are teammates. They are teammates, of course. No bad blood between Dark and herO. They are good friends, and We're getting into our next game. Again, if we get any translations in the chat, of course, let us know. Oh, yo, is Inu going to translate for us? Let's go, Inu. Inu is the Korean caster, by the way. And sometimes he does provide translations. Sometimes. Not always. Not always. As we do have some pretty standard openers. Hatch gas pull here from Dark. Nothing too fancy. Likewise, herO going for a gate expand. Oh. Alright, I'm catching up in the chat. Catching up in the chat. I like guerrilla tactics. The throw? Kind of. In a way through. Like, as in, herO was in a commanding position at the start of the game, but, like, Dark brought it back, like, in the first, what, by the 10-minute mark? Or, like, 11-minute mark? Aye. And of course, it went on further from there, but, yeah, I think some people were talking about the impatience of herO, and I think that's probably the most important thing to talk about. I would tend to agree. I think herO would even agree with that, is that, he is a very aggressive player, and he has a lot of success. He has a lot of success as a result, but more than Dark, like, herO, he can be impatient at times, or he can get a little bit, antsy, and sometimes overextend, or overcommit, or just... yeah, push in a little bit too soon instead of going for a bit of a later timing or taking things slow as well. Sometimes the aggression of herO can work against him, at times. Meanwhile, Dark is... I was going to say the opposite. Dark is also known for being hyper-aggressive early on, with like his roach timings, with his Ling aggression as well. But the difference is that Dark, he is more than willing to slow the game down to a crawl. Not just in this matchup, but against Terran as well. In ZvZ, we've seen that a lot, where Dark, if he falls behind, he's like, I'm just gonna wall off, I'm just gonna turtle, and I'm just gonna get into lurkers. Like, he's so willing to just pitch his tent and just camp, you know? And yeah, I don't know, like, Dark, he doesn't care. Oh my god, come at me, bro, come at me. So Dark, he can be a very patient player. Despite his reputation, he can be a very patient player. Yeah, he just works that, or uses that to great effect. herO a little bit less so. I do think there are probably some other Protoss players out there that we would say have better late game than herO. But I do think that we have to specifically say late game in that respect. herO is going to be moving out here. Again, it was a Stargate opener into Triple Oracle, nothing too fancy, into a Twilight Council and a Forge. So pretty standard stuff here from herO. He dives into the middle line. He's going to get 4 worker kills. 5. Pretty good damage so far. I think what I love, we casted herO maybe 2 months ago, and I know Asher still remembers this. I think it was in WTL. herO on altitude, late game, had a very unique perspective on late game PvZ, and I haven't seen him do it in a while, but we fell in love with herO as the depths are being caught out in the center of the map. But it was like your standard late game composition, but herO was being hyper active with it, just pushing out on one side, and he would use his mothership to recall, like, offensively, to kind of bounce between areas. So he would push on the right, he would threaten bases, then he would recall towards the left and threaten more bases, and then recall back home from there as well. Like, it was a very active style, something that's very unique to herO that we haven't really seen from other Protoss players. Like Max Packs Classic, they don't really go for that approach. So yeah, it was really cool to see. Really cool to see herO just hyper aggressive in the late game, but it's been a while. Been a while since we've seen that from him. As for now, the Adepts are getting, once again, caught out. They haven't been able to slip into a mineral line yet. So far, Dark doing a great job at defending, great job at droning up. Okay, the Unisource tab. He's been bleeding out a lot of lings, to be fair. And that has been eating into his overall drone count. The Oracle's being forced back. Dark just trying to get into his fourth. As herO is taking his gases, so he's not going to be going for a 3-base all-in. Talking about the map itself a little bit, I know it went on a bit of a tangent, especially distracted by what was happening in chat, in the in-game chat, I mean. I'm shaking my head. But yeah, herO, it looks like he does want to tech up a little bit further. We do have a Robo on the way, soon to be a Bay, I imagine. herO is being active with these Stalkers, but again, he's planning on taking up behind this. He's not going all in. Ooh, as he does overextend, one Oracle does go down. This is going to supply block Dark for a moment. The Stalkers are pushing on forward here. Good target firing on these Queens. 2 Queens will go down. And once again, really good target firing on the Roaches as well. So herO has been trading well. And he's taking up behind this, getting into a second Robo and a Bay. So this should be for double Colossus production. Have a War Prism. And herO is still not taking a fourth. Still just being very active on the map. I'm a little bit concerned, but there we go. Probe is on the way, and herO should be expanding. Meanwhile, Dark has been able to get into his Roaches, into his Lings. Once again, we have two safety infestors on the way. Dark is planning on defending until he gets into Lurkers again. We have a Hydra Den. Yep, there it is. Lurker Den as well. Those infestors are Dark's tell that he plans on just turtling up and teching up. Again, maybe because, ooh, as he does snipe the Prism. Oh my god. Very nicely done to here by Dark. But it may be because Dark has been struggling to, like, saturate his fourth up until this point. That he has just kind of accepted his fate. That he is going for a longer game. That he doesn't have map control. That he can't vie for map control from his opponent. Yeah, that infestation bit, sorry, that Lurker Den's on the way. We should be seeing a Hive. There we go. Hive is already done at this point. For those Lurker upgrades. Ooh, and a nice catch here on these Oracles. herO, what does he see? He does not see the Hydra Den. He doesn't see the infestation bit. He doesn't see the Hive either. herO is in the dark. He has no idea what's going on. He has no idea that he should be taking up into Sky Toss. Again, Lurkers, they do amazingly against Ground Toss, and this is going to be a surprise for herO. As he's containing Dark to these 4 bases. Denying that 5th over and over again, or delaying it. Cleaning up creep, maintaining control. Getting his 4th. We have disruptors, which is nice. But Lunkers, the better. As the Lurkers are arriving. I mentioned this earlier, but Dark, he's more than willing to, if at a moment's notice he feels himself like falling behind or losing map control, in a lot of matchups, he's more than willing to just tech up into Lurkers. Turtle up, and slowly get a 5th. So even though you could argue the economies are similar, which means that herO has a better economic position right now, he's even canceling the 5th base. Like, this is okay because Dark decided to forego his economy in favor of taking up into Lurkers, and finally they have been revealed. And herO may now decide to go into Carriers or into a Fleet Beacon. We'll see. We'll see if he commits. As he's rotating around, once again, cleaning up creep. Storm is now done. He does have a pretty threatening force, and he doesn't know how many Lurkers there are exactly. Ooh, that's a kill on that hatchery. He's pushing forward, but the Observer goes down at the same time. Dark going for a massive counterattack. He gets on top of the 5th and the 4th base. Ooh, herO, he's not turning around. He's going to commit to a base trade. Ay, ay, ay. But he's already losing his next eye. It's a kill, not a cancel. He has no detection, but he is getting this right-hand base. Is getting on top of the 4th. Yeah, Dark has to back off, and oh, the robos are being camped as well. This is going to be brutal, as these disruptors, they're not going to come out. Big losses here for herO, and Dark has the advantage. Dark has the better army. And he's taking down the third, containing herO to 2 bases. Ay. herO running back home. With the death of those robos, he doesn't have observers. He has 0 observers on the map. He has to rely on the Oracle instead for revelations. The Biles! Oof. And from here, Dark can just back off. He's got a 3rd up and running. He's got a 4th that just finished up. Dark, he's maxed out. herO, once again, well, he's just all in at this point. There's no other way about it. herO has to end the game with this army. Somehow, some way. With only an Oracle for detection. Oof. Oh god. The fungals are a little bit brutal. A lot of stalkers are going down. They're being softened up. Lurkers are getting in position. That's a lot of lurkers. That's not gonna happen. 18 lurkers. There is no way for herO to break this. There is no other way that we're teching up either. The game will end one way or another. herO, he gets 1 lurker in the end. He's rebuilding his robo. Big Nova, oh my god. Big Nova will connect. But that is not enough. Do we have any Vipers? No. We could. We have a Hive. Could work towards Vipers, but for now, Dark just focusing on Hydra Lurker. A couple of Roaches. Taking his bases. Really, like, there's nothing pressuring Dark. He can chill. He can chill out from here. Gets eyes on the new would-be 3rd. And Vipers would seal the deal. Vipers would just end the game here in favor of Dark. But even without them, he could probably just collapse on this army. Can move out. For now, he's just going to try to keep up with the movement of his opponent. herO is cornering himself. And Dark, it's just going for a counterattack. He's just leaving a handful of lurkers to defend. Going for a big counterattack. Going for the 3rd base once again. And he can even try to go for the natural. He can go for the jugular. So lurkers do borrow. The infestors have arrived. herO going to try to slowly work his way through these line of lurkers. But once again, the robo is going to go down. The natural is compromised, and herO can't push in. You cannot push into lurkers, not like this. And Dark is just having his way with herO. herO is forced to counterattack, but we have lurkers at home and across. There are lurkers everywhere. There are lurkers everywhere, Papi. They even race back home as well. Storms are doing what they can. Lurkers, they come in from every angle. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 4. We have an ace match. We are going all the way to game 5. Let's go. GG. All the way to that final game. Again, so to wind it back a little bit, the tech transition into lurkers was completely unscouted. Dark, as soon as he saw that herO was going to go for a more tech-heavy route, upon seeing the gases at the 3rd base, he knew, okay, herO, he's just going to take a 4th. He's going to tech up further from here, whether it's into Storm or whether it's into Robotech, what have you. Dark knew that he had an opening. On top of that, again, he was just focusing on defending back at home. He knew that he had an opening to tech up into Hive, to tech up into lurkers. He was able to successfully do so. And by the time the lurkers were revealed, herO, he had to make a choice. Either back off and just be defensive and tech up into Skytoss, or be hyper aggressive and try to find an opening and try to force the issue. And he opted to be the aggressor, and Dark, he just ignored the army. Went for the base trade, came out ahead, and yeah, Dark just almost in full control once he got into those lurkers. We have an ace match. We have a game number 5. Here we go. There are even lurkers in the chat. Source, I am a lurker. Oh, my lunkers. Let's go. Oh, thank you so much to some of the Korean speakers in the chat. Oh, 안녕 하세요. Should I exercise? It was tough. You do exercise. I play only soccer. Yeah. I was confused because they were talking about going to the gym. So I was like, is herO talking about like exercising right now? And I guess so. I guess so. He's thinking about his well-being. Wholesome. As we're heading into game number 5. Into that last game. And it all ends here. One way or another, we either crown herO as the champion or Dark. Again, both deserving of the title, both the best of their respective races in Korea. But there can be only one. At least this week. There can be only one. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss representing CranKy Gaming as well. It is herO. Oh god. And he's had enough. He's had enough of your lunkers in your late game. You know what? What's the best way to deal with lunkers? Just make sure your opponent can't make any lunkers, as we are going for a proxy gateway. A very committed proxy as well. The first pylon is thrown down. 2 gates are thrown down as well. We have no gases. Is this a 4 gate? Oh boy. Show us. Show us the rest of your gateways. Yep, there we go. Oh no, a forge. Never mind. So a 2 gate followed by a forge. Cannons are going to be thrown down to support, and herO, this is it. This is what he's been forced to resort to. Pylons are thrown down. The cannon rushes upon us. This is going to be a hatch gas pool opener. Very economic out of Dark. And he is taking this seriously. He's pulling the boys. He is going to try to deny this cannon rush. Little does he know that there are layers to the cannon rush. The pylon is done. And zealots are on the way. Again, there are no gases, so it's only zealots, cannons, and shield batteries. Cannon is revealed, and Dark is now aware that this is serious. He's fully aware that herO is taking this seriously, but we get a good surround here. This first cannon is going to be cancelled. Another cannon is on the way. Very light reaction here out of Dark. Zealots are revealed. Now he knows how committed this is. He sees no expansion across the map. He knows it's all in. Dark should also know that he can afford to give up his natural. Queens are in production. Boys are soon to be pulled. We're going back into gas mining for, I imagine, roaches. But that first cannon is done. Only 1 cannon, though. Is that going to be enough? There it is. Roach Horn is thrown down, but a very late Roach Horn, just because it was a late realization of how committed this was.
The hive cluster is under attack.
As Dark is moving out across the map. And herO is taking control of this base. Queen gonna try and do what it can. Gonna try and spread creep if possible. But I don't think it will. I don't think it should be able to, but there we go. The Zealots are collapsing on that hatchery. Back at home, gases are being taken. Cybercore is on the way. herO is transitioning, and he does get a kill in the hatchery. I love it. The Broodlings are zoning away the army. Cannon goes down. Dark cleans this up. But is he ready for what comes next? Because what comes next are Adepts. Oh boy. Here we go. So Dark, with all these lings, with these roaches, he wants to vie for control of this location. This is all the production, by the way. This is all the production of herO. He can't afford to lose control of this area. The lings do go for that surround. Adepts have arrived. Lings, a lot of Lings go down for only a single Zealot. Not worth it at all for Dark. Roaches have arrived, but is it too late? Again, a lot of Lings were thrown away. Zealots are coming in. Ling speed does kick in, and with that, it looks like the Zealots are going to go down. But now we have 4 Adepts. Do you have 4 Adepts available? Do we commit to the Shade? We do not. We can't. But this pylon is going to go down. Back at home, more gates are on the way. But Dark is dealing with this really well. He's retaking his natural. He only took 1 gas. He did get Link speed, but he's just been morphing in Roaches and Ravagers. Now he's looking for a surround as well. If he surrounds this army, he can Bile. Oof. Gets 1 Adept, and herO's on the back foot. He has a cannon back at home. He has a shield battery on the way. He's working on glaives. Glaive Adepts. Ay. Ooh, that's an Artosis pylon. Uh-oh. That's only 1 pylon, by the way. It is exposed. And it is going to go down. Oof, everything is going to get depowered. No cannons, no shield batteries, no glaive Adepts. This pylon is going to fall as well, and is this how it all ends? It is. As a pylon falls, and there's nothing left here for herO. GG gets called, and Dark shuts down the Proxy 2 gate, and he will be this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. A very cool, calm, and collected reaction by Dark. It was so confident. The way that he responded to the cannon rush with only 3 drones, canceling the cannons, identified that it wasn't really too committed, as in it wasn't just a forge first. I knew that there was something else to it. Zealots were coming out, and sure, Dark may have lost his natural, but he could afford to lose the natural base. Knowing that his opponent was 1 base all in, he could slowly get into his Roaches. Once he took down the center of the map, once he took down the production of herO, that was it. That was basically game then and there. Was herO losing control of those 2 gateways? From that moment, he couldn't warp in, didn't have anything else back at home, and Dark snowballed out of control. Congratulations. Congratulations. It was a reverse sweep. herO was up 2-0. Crazy. herO was up 2-0 in this series. He needed 1 more uno mas the entire time in his last 3 games, but could not pull it off, could not close it out. Dark refused to die, refused to go down. Congratulations. Congratulations to Dark. Very hard fought victory here in the finals of KSL. Whew. And yeah, we do crown our champion. Of course, both Dark and herO, they are KSL champions. They have won their own weeklies, but herO usually wins over Dark. herO does have a winning record this year against Dark. So very impressive that Dark was able to bounce back, come back, and overcome herO. herO, who usually has his number. Usually does have his number, so congratulations. Reverse sweep. Oh. Toss loses, nothing surprises. What do you mean? herO usually beats Dark. The numbers, they don't lie. But Dark came in, reverse sweep. GG, well played. Again, congratulations. Shout out to herO, of course, was a worthy adversary and did make for a great finals, of course. And we were able to see both players shine earlier as well. herO knocked out Solar, Dark knocked out Classic, so they both took down some big names and some big players to make it this far. Again, a shout out to Chicken Man and Dave Testa for creating this event, for allowing us to have the KSL, and for creating the Patreon as well. If you want to support this tournament, if you enjoyed the Korean Starcraft League, and if you want some more, !KSL in the chat. This is a weekly tournament. Every single week on a Friday in NA, on a Saturday everywhere else, I think. We do have the KSL for you. Sometimes we do skip it, but that is typically for a reason. Maybe there's like a GSL going on or some other event. But outside of that, yeah, outside of that, KSL every week on this channel. We missed out this week just because I was sick. I was sick over the weekend, so I couldn't cast live. But was able to catch up. I'm still not fully recovered though, and I am struggling a little bit as a result. My throat is killing me. My throat is very sore, so I'm gonna not speak for the rest of the day. I'm gonna take a moment, and I'm gonna get some tea, gonna get some honey, gonna take care of myself, and GG. We made it though. I really was not ready for a full best of 5. Oh no. But yeah, I'm working on recovering. I'm getting better. And yeah, hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Hope everyone enjoyed. Tomorrow we do have GSL. We do have the GSL Code A qualifiers tomorrow. We'll see how much I cast. Again, depending on my states, we may cast like some of it, or we'll try to cast all of it. We'll see. We'll see how we do tomorrow with GSL Code A. We can always postpone and do it next week if I'm not feeling too well. But otherwise, GSL Code A will be on this channel at some point. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get rest up. And if you enjoyed the CranKy Ducklings, !socials, !socials in the chat. To get a link to our social medias, we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We have our own Patreon as well, Patreon in the chat to get a link to our own page, where we have you covered with plenty of StarCraft and plenty of tournaments that we do host ourselves that you can support if you wish. Our Patreon is available. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who do we raid? That is the question. Let us have a look. We have Ender. I think we'll raid Ender. Yeah, let's go. So if you don't know who Ender is a Filipino Zerg player. He is a lovely supporter of the channel and a good friend. He is Caviar Napoleon Marquises Acampado. It's his full name. I love saying it. And yeah, give him some love, give him support. He's the best player in all the Philippines, and he has been competing a lot in our tournaments, in our regional Southeast Asian events, so give him a chance. Otherwise, if you are only interested in some tournament play, I believe Pig's tournament is currently ongoing. He's got plenty of viewers, so we do typically try to raid smaller streamers. But if you are interested, Pig has you covered with some pro StarCraft. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We're gonna be heading off here, and yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some GSL Code A. Until then, bye. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.